Hey, what's up guys? DEWtheMCCOY here. And I was just going to bring you this quick video showing how to implement the prefab that I made into your map for custom firefight and to get the mode and map working together. So pretty much all you got to do is bookmark the prefab, and then as you can see here, there's nothing on this map, so we're going to be starting from scratch. And then when you bookmark the prefab, when you go into your Forge menu, up at prefabs, it'll be right there. It's just Dewy's Custom Firefight V1. It's V1 for now. I will be pinning comments or posting comments if there's updates, but yeah, basically what you want to do is get the prefab in and make sure to ungroup it so you can actually see the node graphs, because there's 3 different ones. The first one that we're looking at right here is just the player revive system, and it just basically says like on player killed, and then it checks to see if the amount of lives is at 0. So you start with 5 lives. So yeah, and then it comes with the 6 switches, so you don't have to put those in, but you can just add 2 more if you need to. The second graph kind of goes over all the main waves and stuff of the game type. Here I'm just deleting the skull for start, and I'm just putting an on game start, just to kind of show you that you can swap the way the game actually starts, and this doesn't affect the waves at all. This is just the very start of the game. So yeah, I just put a on game start right there, but you can pretty much switch it to whatever and it should work. Just make sure it's either a switch or on game start, or it can be on zone entered or whatever. So here I'm just going through the node graph. I'm just kind of showing you kind of what it looks like. I know it's kind of a lot to look at first, but once you kind of dive in, I kind of separated the nodes or the graphs into separate little things. So each little section is kind of its own little part of like mechanic of the game. So on here I'm just showing some of the stopwatch mechanics. Basically, once you get a kill, it triggers a stopwatch that endlessly loops and checks to see how many reinforcements are left and keeps spawning. So one of the other objects that you need to change on your map is that node I just took out there. That's basically just to buy allies like Marines, and I can't reference the object for my map, so you're just gonna have to put that in there. Once that's in there, you can change the values, how much they cost, and then you got to make sure that you put in an AI spawner. And I'll make sure to go through the settings here. I'm pretty sure you just have to make sure you're on the same team, and make sure you set the squad label to Mike. It kind of did similar to how 343 did it. And then after that, make sure to set the AI move zone for the Marines if you're going to set those up. If you want to delete those, you can just delete that entire node graph, this one and the one right above it to the right. And then make sure to add that AI spawner in the node graph and connect it. And the third graph is all of the AI spawners, the enemy AI spawners that you want. So all the object references you'll have to delete, but the object list and variables you can keep or you can change depending on kind of how you want to group them up together. But I basically have all of them combined and grouped up together. And then I have separate ones, as you can see, Phantom, Grunt, I have Drop Pod 1, 2. And then I have them linked to all spawner, and then it basically just pulls all those lists, randomizes it, and then spawns that set of AI spawners over and over again. And then here I'm just kind of showing you that you can delete the combined list if you have less than like 4, or you can add them depending on if you need to add more to that group. You can kind of see me adding. Yeah, so if you want to add more to that group, you just add an object list and then add and combine. And because it can only take 4 at a time, but you can combine them. So you can just kind of see me reconnecting everything. And then combining that, putting the object list back, and then putting that back to the object label or the list variable. So then now you see me grabbing the AI spawners, hooking the last two up to that object list, and then connecting the object list to the combine. So basically all the object lists do is it just takes all those objects and makes them into a list. Then you combine all those lists into a variable, which, yeah, I'll talk about those a little bit later. But here you see me going through and adding numbers to the list size. You can also just use get object list size here to auto-populate it. But I'm going through and adding just because you can kind of control those however you want. So I just made it super easy. And then here you see me, I forgot to do delete object when I deleted my skull. So that's why the brain's not working currently. But now we're gonna spawn in, and then in 10 seconds they should spawn in. So yeah, I try to hit the button here, but it tells me that I don't have no points. And then 10 seconds after I spawn in, the enemies spawn. So after you kill an enemy, now that stopwatch timer will continue looping and checking all the numbers. So here you can see me, if you go into this node graph, you can up the lives. So it's currently set at 5. You can up that to 6 or however many you want. So you do that with the declare number variable. And then you see me kind of going through the whole thing. So on player killed, if it's a player, increment the lives by -1, and then if it's less than, if it's less than 1, then it triggers a block player spawn, and then it adds them to a dead player list, and then basically you get off that player list by reviving. On game start, you can see me going through. You can add the initial reinforcements right here. So you just set their score to however many reinforcements you want the Covenant to have. And then I go to on wave start. I'm just kind of showing you how it works. Here, I leave 4 spots for Marines to spawn in, but you can up this or drop it down depending on the amount of AIs that you want to spawn initially. That's every beginning of every wave. And then on unit killed, it basically just makes sure that it's on a certain team, and then minuses 1 from the reinforcements, and then gives a player 25 points. And then after that, it checks to see if the reinforcements are 0, and if they're not 0, if they're more than 1 or more than 0, then it triggers it restarts the stopwatch that basically checks to see. I think I have to put 2 on the get team points because it kind of seems they stop spawning, but those numbers can be adjusted, and you can kind of get you can kind of like control like the amount of enemies like during the wave. So yeah, it's kind of like you can kind of control a little bit here and there, just a little bit more control. But here is where you set the points it costs to buy allies. So you can set this to 500 and then set, your spawner to be like hunters or something. Yeah, so this is on wave end. Basically, for each player on Eagle, it unblocks respawn. So after every wave, everyone respawns back in. This is the random adding of reinforcements. So I basically take the wave number and multiply it by 2.5, and then you can add a random number. So it adds those 2 numbers together, and then that's your reinforcements on the next wave. Here, I'm just kind of showing you how you can call out the custom object list variables, like the grunts and the drop pods. This is kind of how you call them out. So I had set there originally, but you're supposed to have get, so get list variable, and then you have to make sure you set that identifier to whatever you want. Make sure to put it on global if you're connecting things via two to script brains local if it's just the same one. And then you can connect them 2 different ways. So you can have them just get the first like 3 objects out of that list and then spawn those, or you can just get a random amount of objects. And then if you want to just select one, you can select, you can do get object at index, and it'll select like whichever number you have in that slot, it'll select that number on the list. So however the list is ordered, it'll select that number out of that list. So then for this one, you do a for each object, and it'll pull each object from that list. So you could put that number to 3, and it'll pull 3 objects. And then if you want to pull 5, you just put that 5 right there. And then this is how you connect it. So execute per object, and then that goes on the power side, and then current object is the AI spawner. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And here's a little demo. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out. Hey, before you go, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe for future Forge content. Got a lot of stuff planned, so you can join my Discord to stay up to date on all that stuff, and make sure to post your map there if you've got a map. We've got plenty of play testers and other forges in there that'll help you out. Make sure to include your title, description, a link to your map to hit a waypoint, and include some tags, pictures if you want, and post it. It should stay there forever. So if you want to support me in other ways, you can join the channel by hitting the join button in the description. Each tier costs $1, $3, and $5. Just another way to support me. Obviously optional, but if you want to, that's a good way to support me. You can also check out the merch store if you want, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Bye.